conflict for journalists between the Qatari agenda, it was described, and reporting. I mean, what is the Qatari agenda in terms of Syria?
No, actually, we didn't talk in this issue.
I'm not sure it was your email, actually. I think it might even have been referenced to someone else's.
In general, I can tell you one thing. You know, there is no government. There is no governments are not charities. You know, so whenever a government is paying for a channel, at the end, I respect all my colleagues at Al Jazeera. They're all good journalists, professionals, and I really I'm proud to work with them. But the problem, it's not in the journalists, it's not in even the executives in the Al Jazeera. It's not a problem with Al Jazeera. It's the problem with those who are really financing Al Jazeera, which are the Qataris. You know, today the Qataris are kind of committing. You know, they are taking Al Jazeera to commit suicide. They're forcing Al Jazeera to commit suicide. Al Jazeera was kind of respected by everyone. Even Al Jazeera went with 2 or 3 languages, and everyone was watching Al Jazeera because they really believed that Al Jazeera is doing good journalism. Today, it's a big problem right now. Wherever you go around the Arab world, everyone is questioning the credibility of Al Jazeera. They're questioning the agenda Al Jazeera is working with or it's working for. Today, it's not anymore that Al Jazeera is doing journalism for journalism. Today, journalism is being used for politics.
And what is that politics? What does Qatar want in Syria?
Actually, it's really strange. You know that, or everyone knows also that the Qatari regime used to be one of the strongest and the closest allies of the Syrian regime. And that wasn't for 1 year or 2 years. That was for the last at least 6 years. They were really close allies. They had even, family visits between each other. Actually, things changed after the Egyptian revolution, and things started to be really strong. Really, something changed in the Qatari politics. Some will say that they had a kind of a deal with the Americans in this regard. I'm not here to analyze what happened really, but it was something strange. In my resignation letter, I was telling the executives of my channel that the first 15 days of the Syrian revolution, it was like nothing was happening in Syria. Al Jazeera wasn't covering, and in case there was any kind of coverage of what's going on there, we were referring to the uprising over there. It's kind of demonstrations asking for reforms. It's the same way the pro-Assad media was dealing with the revolution. But when the bilateral relations between the Qataris and the Syrians was kind of exploded for a reason we really don't know why, things changed, and we started dealing with the revolution in Syria as the priority of the channel, and that there is no other revolution but this revolution.
And is there any evidence that you know of that would show there's something had to do with the Saudi-Qatari relations that would have changed Qatar on this? Because the Saudis seem pretty militant on Syria right from the beginning.
Actually, the thing is, as I told you, something strange happened. What really happened? What are the under table deals that were really set? No one knows. Is it something that was really prepared before, and the Qataris were just waiting for a turning point to really be so blatant and clear about their own stance from Syria? Actually, I can't say, because I'm not a political analyst. Rather, I really cared for one thing: doing real journalism. I really don't really care about politics and who is with who, because my job as a journalist is saying what's going on and not doing things to and making things. So my problem was really journalism. I don't have a problem because actually, as you know, maybe Qatar have good relations with Israel. Qatar have good relations with America. Qatar have good relations with Iran, and that was just 1 year ago, 1 year before the revolution. It was Qatar had good relations with everyone except for Saudi Arabia. So in a day and a night, everything changed, and now you know, Qatar as a country with enemies for the first time. They were kind of doing a strategy of the zero enemies, zero problems in the region, and they were trying to show themselves as the brokers of the region, brokers of peace deals, brokers of consensuses, whatever. They solved the problem in Lebanon. They solved the problem in Yemen. They tried to solve the problem in Yemen. They tried to solve the problems in Sudan. So these people were trying to play a role, and now they changed this role. Right now they are
one of the turning points seemed to be Libya, because Qatar seemed to play such a leading role in the militarization of the Libyan conflict, and being very, supportive, and again, leading very much the expansion of the NATO mission and turning it into regime change in Libya. Was that a sort of a change in Qatari policy? Is that where this begins?
It seems, It seems the Libyan revolution was a main turning point in the whole thing. But you never know what was going before that, because it wouldn't be that one thing just changed everything. Assad's stance from Gaddafi was kind of supportive, but will this turn the Qataris against him directly? And okay, if that's true, then they will start covering the revolution in Syria from the beginning, and not waiting like 15 or 20 days to start covering this revolution. There are many stories said about Hamad bin Jassim going to Damascus and meeting al-Assad and telling him that the Qataris are ready to pay from $1 to $1 billion for reforms, and that Assad's regime have kind of surpluses against facing other regimes, whereas the regime is kind of supporting the resistance and against Israel, and this is kind of popular in the Arab world. So when Hamad when Hamad bin Jassim told him this things, then it, as I know, it might be confirmed, it might not be confirmed, but this is what is said. Then al-Assad was replied in a harsh way and asked him to leave the meeting room. And from that point, everything changed, and the Qataris decided to make al-Assad their own first enemy.